Take a look at how wonderful it looks out here today in Goroka, Papua New Guinea. My name is Ryan. I'm taking you guys out today to Aibai, just a 13-minute flight right over top of these mountains behind me. Kind of waiting on a little bit of fog this morning. It's 7:05 in the morning right now, but 13-minute flight or an 8-hour car ride. The guys already loaded up my plane yesterday, just about all the way, so we're almost ready to go actually before we even started the day yet. I'm already fueled. Basically, I just need to do my walk around, make sure the rest of the pods are loaded, and I guess wait for the weather out there. As you guys can see, it's really nice, clearing up very nice here in Goroka. We're still waiting on clouds just a little bit, so probably in the next 5 minutes or so. I'm getting a little bit more fuel just in case I have to go the long route to get out there or to get back, because right now I have the bare minimum fuel to get there and back with my VFR reserve. So get a little more fuel, we'll load up and get out of here. Right, now we're started up, just waiting for them to close the hangar door. They're going to be doing some painting today. I don't want to be blowing a bunch of dust and dirt in there because they just wiped down the airplane and I didn't realize that before I come out of feather. Oh, it's almost down now. Make sure I'm at 20 degrees. The flaps, we had issues with the flaps earlier this morning, so just want to make sure that they're all working good in case I have to do a go around at Aibai. Goroka Tower, good morning, November Tango Kilo. Request taxi Aibai 3 POB.
November Tango Kilo, Goroka Tower. Good morning, Ryan. And taxi for runway 17 left, and backtrack lineup QNH 1020. Time check 48.
Morning, Raiden 1020. Clear to backtrack lineup 17 left, November Tango Kilo. It's been a long time since I've actually flown myself, it seems. And yeah, almost 10 o'clock now, so we've been waiting almost 3 hours for the weather to clear out there at Aibai before we can head out that way. So governor over speed check before we get out on the runway. There we go. Just for the clouds off to the left over across those mountains are right around 7,000. Clouds are a little bit higher than that, so I think I'm going to do a left-hand turn out today, setting course overhead, so I'm going to know that I can get my altitude before I get to those mountains, so I don't have to do any S-turns or 360s once I get to the mountains. Alright, ignition, inlet, and lights. November Tango Kilo ready for departure, requesting left-hand turn out, setting course overhead.
November Tango Kilo, 17 left, left 10, clear for takeoff.
17 left, left turn, clear for takeoff, November Tango Kilo. Ignition condition, flaps 20, fuel and harnesses. Checklist is complete, 1270 and rotate at 61. Radiator speeds alive, ITT's in the green. There's 50 and continuing. And there's 61. Bump up our ITT just a tiny bit, we're just at 730. There we go. And we're just pitching for 7.5 degrees first. I'm out at 80, and like I said, we'll be doing a left-hand turn just to set course overhead so I can get my altitude up first. Alright, there's over 85 knots. We'll go 10 degrees of flaps. It's over 90, we'll go 0 and bring our prop up back to 2,000 RPM. It also brings our ITT back down from 740, and it should set in close to 720 without having to do much. And we'll also clean up our bypass landing and igniters turned off. Now I'm just pitching for my 100 knots, just for my best rate of climb, get up to the most altitude in, well, the shortest amount of time. Stroke Tower, November Tango Kilo. Departed time 5-1. We'll be tracking 240 shortly on climb, not above 8,000. Estimating Aibai 05.
November Tango Kilo, copy all. Contact must be 120.1. No contact, HF 6538 or 6598 at 15 miles.
1201, 6538 or 9815 miles. November Tango Kilo. It's probably been at least a month or so since I have flown, since the last time I've been flying with Brad and Jeff. Both of them are both doing really well. We've been working on Class C airstrips with both of them. There we go, yeah, I think this is just going to work out just fine. We're at 60, almost 7,000. So yeah, I'll just continue my turn on around. And also turn my QNH down to 1010. That's probably what it's going to be. And then also, I'm going to turn my baro. It should be 6840. That's going to be my turning final out there. I'll share a little bit more when we get out there why I have my minimum set in, even though I'm not shooting an approach. All right, 1,000 to go. If you guys are interested in picking up one of these takeoff and landing checklist boxes, I've got them on my website. I have them for a turbine engine, piston engine, like complex planes, as well as like a simple like 172. So check it out if you are interested. I think it's going to be a really helpful tool for you. Covers all your critical items for takeoff and landing. I've really felt like it has increased my own personal safety because I naturally am in a rush. So it's helped me kind of slow myself down, go through something methodical, and actually make sure that I'm covering the things that could potentially kill me. Alright, 100 feet to go. Looks like we might be able to squeeze through here through the caw. Maybe. There might be a gap through there, through the clouds. We're at 8,000 now. Probably could have just stayed a little bit lower. I didn't realize that. Oh well. We'll see if we can go around this corner without having to climb up to 10,000 to get over these clouds. Might be a little bit more conducive just to stay at a lower altitude, I think. I head over here to the left a little bit so I can see around this corner before I commit myself to head into there. Looks like we're going to go up a little bit higher. Oh, actually no, it does look like it looks like there's a channel. Never mind. There we go, now you guys can see what I'm looking at. We've got Ilambari, a big mountain right ahead of us, probably about 8 or so miles away. It goes all up to 9,000. So I'm going to have to either go to the kind of the north or the south side of that for me to be able to get into Aibai. So it looks like I think I'm going to head right back down now that I'm at 8,700 just to get through here, and I'm heading right back down. I think I'm going to go back down to 8,000 and wiggle my way through. So we'll go ahead and bring our torque back to cruise, maybe a little bit less for descending down. It probably would have been a lot better just to go at a lower route. Probably a lot less work for me. Go 10 degrees of flaps. Help myself, give myself a little more time and space to think. Looks like I can fit through these clouds in here. Always be 120.1, November Tango Kilo transfer.
November Tango Kilo must be standby.
Clouds are down to the ground, off to the south. Let's see how they are off to the north.
November Tango Kilo must be, go ahead.
November Tango Kilo, 15 miles to the west, Kuroka. Not above 8,000, estimating Aibai 06.
November Tango Kilo, got a QNH 1008. Aibai Kolo 6598.
1008, 6598, Aibai November Tango Kilo. Switching over to 6598 for that. So I'll just be listening in on there for now. Alright, now you guys can see my terrain map.
Minimums.
There's my minimums. That's what I'm going to be turning final at. So we're going to try to work our way around through all of this and head in through the low route. And yeah, it's looking like there's a lot of clouds up here to be working around, but we'll slow it down here in a second. Give myself a little more time and space to be thinking. Alright, could go through there. Not gobs of margin. although I can see just fine on the other side, but I'm already below the ridge, so I'm just going to continue on up to maybe the next lower route. Looks like this whole way back here, the SR South is going to work just fine getting back into Goroka on the way back. And we are just 5 minutes out. I'm going to start up my checklist for landing. TAWS off, brake off, or VREF, which is our speed for landing. We're 6,700, so I think the same, 72 knots. Because we're landing on a slope though, I'm going to add 3 knots, so 75 knots. Lights and inlet, lights and inlet, done. If we have to go around, short final power up, 20 degrees of flaps, pitch for 11 to 12 degrees, left hand turnout, reset ITT, 740 on the ITT. Oh yeah, this is looking a lot better this way. This is the very reason why we do pilotage with Jeff and Brad on our flights, because days like this where you just can't go in your nice straight line, you have to know the terrain, you have to know your valleys, your low routes. This is why we turn the GPS for them off sometimes.
Station Target 1201.
Alright, looks good up that way, but we'll just continue up the lowest valley part rather than just cutting through there, even though I know I can get through there. Take a look and see what this looks like. If it doesn't look good, then we'll go back right through here. Push my prop forward. All stations, Aibai 120.1, Kodiak November Tango Kilo, 13 miles to the south, 6,000, estimating Aibai 05. Oh yeah, see, sometimes it's nice just to wait for the best route, because like, look at this, perfect. And bring our torque back on up to cruise until we get back into the pattern, another 13 miles up, and we'll also bring our prop on back. All right, winds are nearly negligible this morning, which is amazing. If you've been out here in any of my other videos, Aibai has been, I think, probably the hardest place that I go to.
0028.
Just specifically for the winds. It's not necessarily it's a hard place to land. It's 11% slope. Go ahead and set up my OBS now. Runway 230. Really, it's difficult just because of the winds. It's kind of in a bowl and everything just swirls around. So short final, sometimes if you'll have tailwinds on, on your first part, and then you'll have headwinds, but then you'll have headwinds for takeoff, and then it'll immediately turn into a tailwind right after takeoff. So it's just swirling winds all the time, which just makes it difficult. So we wanted to turn final at 6,850. We're going to do our pattern at 7,300 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and climb back up because I'm lower than pattern right now. Looks like the whole circuit's open very well, which is good. 8 miles to go. A prop and harness to go. I know you guys can't see it from this video because I don't have my face camera on today, just because I have some passengers with me. But if you guys are interested in getting some sunglasses like you've seen in all my other videos, I'll throw up a picture of what they look like. I got them on my website. I've had these things for a year and a half now, and they still actually work just as well as day one. No scratches, they're glass lenses, they're non-polarized so they don't mess me up at all with the screens. Highly recommend it if you're wanting a good pair of aviators that are high quality. I'm just trying to toot my horn, but these things actually are pretty good. And for a very reasonable price. Okay, let's see. Aibai is on the other side of this ridge right here. Yep. All stations, Aibai, Kodiak November Tango Kilo will be joining the circuit Aibai. We've got another 500 yet to go to get up to pattern altitude. Orders B120.1, November Tango Kilo in the circuit Aibai, report after landing. No joy, 65908. Alright, I will call them on the ground. Not going to worry about them. Alright, just now approaching pattern altitude. Looks like it's not going to work for at least doing my full circuit as normal. Alright, let's see. Actually, no, this should work. Yeah, this should work. Alright, whole circuit is open. Winds, maybe a tiny bit of tailwind. We'll accept up to 5 knots today. Up forward, 10 degrees of flaps. Looks like we'll actually have more crosswind than anything. Going 75 final, 85 base, 95 on downwind. Looking at the smoke directly ahead of me, it looks like it's just standing straight up and down, which is an indicator that there's really not much wind.
Alpha November Tango,
in here.
where did you depart from?
Fly overhead, take a look at the windsock. There was no rain here last night, which is good. Bumping around a little bit now.
Alpha
6 knots crosswind, 1 knot of tailwind. Windsock looks dead. We'll try to land about where the dirt spot is, just past the first cone. Right, drop it down to 7,000, turning base, 7,000. 20 degrees of flaps. And we're slowing to 95 knots. There's our 95 knots. There's our 7,000. We'll just bump our power back in a little bit. Bouncing around a little bit, that's for sure. Up and harness is done. Flaps to go. Hey, slowing to 85. 6840 turning final. There's our 85. Add a little bit of power to maintain it. Up on turning final, 6840. Flaps checklist is complete. 1 to 75.
Minimums.
Three knots headwind. 600 on the descent. We're committed. But fast. 4 knots wind.
500.
All right. Oh shoot, I didn't realize that this was all closed off because it's soft. Do a quick spin around. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. This is always a fun place to come to. Me as well. Give it a video a thumbs up if you guys did enjoy it. Be sure to check out some takeoffs out of here. And yeah, check out my website if you guys are interested in one of these or sunglasses or whatever else.
Well, I'm very thankful that the winds are extremely calm right now. I've got a little bit of a crosswind right here for takeoff. You can see the windsock right back here just barely moving around. A lot of times when we have flights out here to Aibai, it's like the only flight of the day, which is the case for today. So I'm just taking a moment to walk down to the end of the runway just to take a look at where I land. I like to assess my landings so that I can adjust for the next time and just continue to get better on every single landing. Just about down to the end now. I'm just trying to evaluate. I think my wheels touch down here actually, and then I don't think you guys can tell really, but it's just really rough. I mean, it drops off probably like, I don't know, maybe 5 inches there, and it's just kind of rough and undulating, and you got kind of some water drainage things down here. And down here, you probably can't see it on the camera, but it just kind of has a bunch of wobbling there and then over there as well. So if you land back here, which is, well, what I did and what I was planning on, then it just makes your landing a little bit, I don't know, rougher, and you kind of just skip across the ground until you can really get seated on the ground really well. Okay, so for reference, this is the first cone in right here, and here's the dirt spot that I was talking about trying to touch down at. Here's the first, I was saying like right around the first cone or just around the dirt spot. So this is where I touched down right here. So yeah, about 4 feet in front of really kind of where I wanted to, and then you can see that's where my wheels touched down originally, right here. I'd say fairly centered up in the middle of the runway, but I really couldn't get on my brakes until I kind of skipped across all of these bumps and stuff and still got on the brakes. But because it's dry today, it really helped in getting me stopped easily before the parking bay. Well, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this flight out here and this just quick little walk around here, Aibai. I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.